Hi children, welcome to science class. In previous classes we learned so many topics, right? So today's class also we are going to learn a new topic. Before going into the topic, say some names of clothes which you wear in a occasional time or general. What type of clothes you wear? For example, if you are going to attend a party, what type of clothes you prefer? Cotton clothes? No, you select silk clothes, right? Or which are having more lustrous or more brightful. Such kind of clothes you will choose. And you are at home or you are about to sleep. What type of clothes you will wear? Any special wear? Special dresses will you wear? No, a common suit like night dress which are made up of cotton, right? So we wear or we prefer different kinds of clothes to wear. Occasionally we wear different types of clothes, and for general wear, a common wear, we wear different types of clothes. Whatever, we may consider that we have different kinds of materials, right? Different kinds of dresses, saris, dupattas, all these things we have. And in these also made up of different types of threads. We call them as fibers. What do we call them? Fibers. What is that? Fiber. Okay. And in this fiber also, we have so many kinds of fibers. In that, natural fibers are there, artificial fibers are there. How many kinds are there? Natural fibers and artificial fibers. Artificial fibers. Okay. Can you name some natural fibers? Natural, which are occurring in nature. What are the natural fibers? Immediately you remember about cotton, right? Cotton we get from cotton plant. Next, silk. We learned in previous classes. You can say silk. Silk cloth or silk fiber we get from silk moth, right? So these are natural fibers. Along with them, jute also there. Jute. This is also from plants. Okay. These are natural fibers. These are natural fibers, and we have some artificial fibers also. First, we will learn about natural fibers. After doing some experiments, then we will enter into the artificial fibers. As we learnt about natural fabrics and artificial fabrics, which are also called synthetic fibers. In that, about polyesters and uses of polyesters we learnt in previous class, right? So in the uses of polyesters, the base material of polyester can be used to make not just fibers for fabric but many other things like suits, jackets, shirts, trousers, saris, etc. These things also can be made, right? And for this, an activity is given to you in your textbook. Collect some type of bottles, water bottles or whatever jars you're having at home, plastic bottles, collect and check the bottom of the bottle. Check at the bottom of the bottle. You can find some sort of code. Can you see? I hope you might have found this type of code under the bottom of the bottle, right? These are called recycling code. What is this? Recycling code or resin code. Okay. Generally, the PET bottles can be identified with resin identification code, which is present at the bottom of the bottle in a triangle shaped symbol with a number in its center, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. Okay, up to 7. And we will observe that many bottles will have 1 in the center of triangle. Then such bottles are said to be PET bottles. What are they? PET bottles. And we will learn about resin identification codes in detail in this chapter. In your textbook also given resin identification codes. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And some bottles might have only triangular shape without any number in the middle. So there, that is universal resin code. What is that? Universal resin code. Okay, whatever. Let's see what are these. First one, number 1, PET is given under that, right? PET. PET abbreviation is polyethylene terephthalate. What is PET abbreviation? Polyethylene terephthalate, right? PET or PETE, both are same. Okay, PET and PETE also same. Polyethylene terephthalate. Next, HDPE. What is the second code, ma'am? HDPE, that is high density polyethylene. High density polyethylene. Third one, PVC. What is the third one? PVC, polyvinyl chloride. This one we hear many times. PVC pipes, like that we used to hear, no? PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Next, LDPE. As HDPE is high density polyethylene, so LDPE will be low density polyethylene. Okay. Next, number 5, PP, polypropylene. Polypropylene. Next, PS, polystyrene. Polystyrene. And 7, others. It includes other category like resin codes numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or other combination of one or more than of these reasons. Okay. To identify different kinds of codes, you just check different types of jars, plastic bottles at your home and find whatever codes are there, you have to check. Okay. I will give detailed information in your notes. In manual completely it is given and gathered point wise in your manual questions. So there you will learn deeply about this. Okay. Our next topic, characteristics of synthetic fibers. Characteristics of synthetic fibers. See what are the uses and characteristics of synthetic fibers. First one, dry up quickly. Synthetic fibers dry up quickly and durable. Durable means longevity and less expensive. We can purchase at low cost. Easy to maintain. We can maintain easily. Yeah, they won't be much weight. We are having much weight, so we can maintain easily and readily available. We no need to wait for the product. It is readily available. That's why ready-mades. Yes, what do we call the textiles? Mostly the board is ready-mades. Next, easy to wash. We can wash them easily. Like cotton, silk means we have to wash very carefully, but these synthetic fibers are very easy to wash. Next, easy for maintenance. We can maintain easily and do not allow air to pass freely. But this is somewhat problem in summer season. They do not allow air to pass freely because they are made up of petrochemicals. Okay, they are mixing of petrochemicals. Next, do not absorb sweat quickly. They don't absorb sweat quickly. Yes or no? As cotton clothes or silk clothes absorbing sweat, they don't absorb like that because they are completely synthesized petrochemicals. Okay, synthesized with petrochemicals, so they don't absorb sweat quickly and easily burnt or melt. Easily burnt or melt. Okay, these are the properties or characteristics of synthetic fibers. And the main disadvantage of synthetic fibers is that if they get burnt, they melt and stick to the body of the person wearing it. That's why in the topic of nylons we learned that the people who are being in kitchen and who are working at fireworks, they should not wear nylon clothes because they are readily catch to fire. Okay, so to avoid that we have to wear cotton fibers. If there is a question why should we prefer synthetic fibers, means you have to write this answer. Okay, Nana? But in the fireworks we should not wear synthetic fibers, and we can find these codes on the label. Have you observed any time? Based on the laundry label codes, customers determine which cleaning process is suitable for either dry cleaning or laundry washing. By observing this, we have to wash our clothes. Okay, dry cleaning means, have you heard that word, dry cleaning? What is dry cleaning? Dry. Actually washing means what? There should be water, right? Water wash. But dry cleaning means without water they wash our clothes, and it involves the uses of chemical like perchloroethyl. Perchloroethyl for removing stains. What is the chemical they used, ma? Perchloroethyl, and it removes stains, while laundry washing comprises traditional machine washing with detergent, softener and water. They use fabric conditioned detergents, and which comfort the fabrics. That kind of detergents only they use. Whatever detergents which we get cheaply, they don't use that. That's why dry cleaning is expensive. For the good fabrics or costly fabrics, what should we use? Dry cleaning. Look at this table, children. Take a screenshot and read about this. The differences between natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Okay, whatever we learnt in these topics, differences are given here. Once again you read this and understand well. Okay, Nana? Next topic is plastic. Plastic is also a synthetic material which can be easily molded into any desired shape on heating. And plastic is also a polymer like the synthetic fibers. It is also a polymer. And in some plastics, the arrangement of monomers is linear like this, whereas in others it is cross-linked as shown on the screen. See? Okay, this is cross-linked arrangement and this is linear arrangement. So monomers will be in some plastics in linear, and in some plastics it will be in cross-linked arrangement. Here some plastic toys are given, plastic toys, suitcase, plastic bags, brush. Once look here. These plastics can be recycled, colored, reused, molded or drawn into wires. So they are having many properties. So owing to this reason, plastic is used in wide range. Okay, we can find many plastic things in our home. Yes or no? Have you observed any time in your kitchen? Like water buckets, water pipes, electric appliances, televisions, radio, all these things are, even chairs, tables also made up of plastics. To a great extent, plastic has taken over the place that was occupied by metals, glass, cloth, paper, stone and even wood earlier. In earlier days, people used to prepare these things by metals, glass, cloth, paper, stone, wood, all these. But nowadays, it is replaced by plastic. In these, two types are there. So let's see types of plastics. First one is thermoplastics and second one thermosetting plastics. What are the thermoplastics? Plastics which change their shape on heating and can be bent easily are called thermoplastics. Example, polythene, PVC and polystyrene. And thermosetting plastics. On basing thermoplastic, you can compare which cannot be molded on heating, right? Or which cannot be softened on heating are called thermosetting plastics, like examples bakelite and melamine. There is an activity we have to do to understand well about thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. To do this activity, first thing, what is our aim? To identify the thermoplastic or to identify the plastic, whether it is thermoplastic or thermosetting plastic, by using flame test. What is the test? Flame test. And required material, the things which we use in this test are pair of tongs, spirit lamp and samples of plastics. What we have to do? Select some plastics or collect some small pieces of plastics from your home, like already which are not using, like comb, old combs, toothbrush, handles, plastic buckets, handle of utensils. You can check. Our electric switch and a piece of melamine metals plate and coffee mug. These things you have to select as samples. And there is a precaution while doing this activity. You must wear a mask to your nose and mouth, because that fumes you should not breathe. Okay, take a spirit lamp and light it and by using pair of tongs collect samples one by one and place it on the flame of the spirit lamp. Now observe the changes during the sample on the flame and record your observation also what is happening. Okay, toothbrush handle, see what is happening. It is burning and turning to black color. Piece of bucket, broken buckets will be available now, so that one, see what is happening, observe clearly. Handle of utensils, electric switch, meals plate, coffee mug. Repeat the same procedure with other samples of plastics also. If you have any other, you can test. While doing this experiment, you might have observed these kind of observations. Like, see, you have to record like this, or you have to note down like a tabular form. And what is happened? Softened or burnt with smell and become hard. This you have to observe. Okay. First thing is comb. First sample is comb, and it is softened. Just became softened. Next, toothbrush handle. It is also softened. If you did it well, you can get this result. Piece of bucket, a small piece of bucket. It is also softened. Handle of utensils. Utensils means like cooker, like that, or any pans. So what happens there? Burnt with smell and becomes hard. After burning, it becomes hard. Next, electric switch. The same. It's also burns with smell and becomes hard. Meals plate. Same the process. What happens? It will be burnt with smell and becomes hard. Coffee mug. Burnt with smell and becomes hard. Of course, not all coffee mugs. If it is the If it is made up of melamine or bakelite, then only it turns like this. Okay, burns with smell and becomes hard. Okay, by seeing this, you can check. There are two kinds, right? One type of plastics became softened, and another types of plastics are burning and giving smell and becoming hard. Right? Have you observed have you noticed two variations? So by seeing this, we can give name. So the plastics which are getting softened are called thermoplastics. The plastics which are getting softened are called thermoplastics. Whereas the plastics which are burning with smell and becoming hard are called thermosetting plastics. Thermosetting plastics. Did you understand? What is the variation of plastics? So we have observed two types of plastics. One is thermoplastic and another one is thermosetting plastics. So we can test whether the plastic thermosetting or thermoplastics by doing this flame test. Let us see the uses of thermoplastics. A thermoplastic is a polymer in which monomers are arranged in a straight chain that turns into a liquid when heated and freeze to a glassy state when cooled sufficiently. Okay, thermoplastics are used in making toys, bottles, combs, containers, etc. And polythene is one of the most famous types of plastic. Polythene bags we use, so which is used in manufacturing carry bags and for wrapping food and other eatables also. And PVC, it is used as an insulating covering for electrical wiring and also used for making shoes and shoe soles also. Okay, by using PVC, shoes and shoe soles also can be made. Next, polystyrene. It is used as packing material for expensive items such as TVs, refrigerators, cell phone, and for other delicate objects. To preserve it, to keep them safely, we use them. Polystyrene. And uses of thermoplastics. See, these are all the plastic things which are prepared by thermosetting plastics. Like electric switch, handles of electrical appliances, handles of kitchen utensils, floor tiles, etc. See here, you can observe switches. These thermosetting plastics are not moldable because strong cross links are formed during the initial molding process, so which give the material a stable structure. They cannot be changed, and for this reason they are more likely to be used in the situations where thermal stability is required. Where there is thermal stability is like required, it is used. And bakelite is a poor conductor of heat. It doesn't allow heat to conduct, even electricity also. And it is therefore used as electrical switches and handles of various utensils and telephone cases. And you know, bakelite is also used as an alternative for pearl and jade. In place of pearls and jade stones also it is used. What is that? Bakelite. Next, these are the examples of melamine. What are they? Examples of melamine. And melamine also a type of plastic which comes under thermosetting plastic. What is that, ma'am? Thermosetting plastic. And melamine is a versatile material, resists fire and can tolerate heat better than other plastics. So it is used for making kitchenware. It is used in making kitchenware, floor tiles and fabrics which resist fire like computer and TV cabinets also. These are the differences between thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Take a screenshot and read. Next, plastics and environment. In our surroundings, how we are using plastics. Plastics have so many desirable properties that they have proved to be extremely versatile materials with a number of uses. Okay, as we observed till now, the plastics are having many uses. Okay, they are useful, but however they are useful, there are some defects also. That means they are not biodegradable, they are not eco-friendly, they are not environmental friendly. So some of the properties of plastics such as long life, toughness, resistance to chemicals and biological agents that make them so useful cause problems when the goods are past their useful life. After using some things we used to throw, right? So after throwing, they won't be they won't be decomposed in soil. They cannot be decomposed in water, in soil, even in some chemicals also, even with some fireworks also. So that makes them sometimes complicate to the environment. That is called they are not biodegradable. That means they are not eco-friendly or which are not decomposing with the environment, with the soil, water, like these things. Look here, you might have observed many times when plastic objects like polythene bags are thrown away, they do not degrade either chemically or biologically. So as a result, plastic junk is increasing at an alarming rate which causes certain environmental hazards, and this is becoming a global concern. We have heard many times about this, right? So biodegradable and non-biodegradable things. How can we check biodegradable and non-biodegradable things? Let us see. When we go to the market, we get usually things wrapped in plastic or packed in polythene bags every time, right? So that is one reason why plastic waste keeps getting accumulated in our homes. Ultimately, plastic finds its way to the garbage, right? We are throwing like this, no? So we know that decomposition is a process that can break down certain materials into smaller fragments, smaller things, in the presence of water, sunlight and oxygen, and these fragments further break down into bacteria. These are breaking into bacteria. So a material which is easily decomposed by natural process is called biodegradable, and which is not decomposed by natural process is called non-biodegradable. See, these are this is the tabular form given the life of a material, the lifetime of a substance is given here. See, first one, peels of vegetables and fruits, leftover foodstuff, etc. They take 7 to 15 days to decompose in soil. Paper, it takes 2 to 4 weeks. Cotton cloth, it takes 2 to 5 months. Wood, it takes 10 to 15 years. Okay, and woolen clothes, it takes about a year, about 1 year. And tin, aluminium and other metal cans, they take 100 to 500 years. And plastic bags, several years. There is no count, not even in 100 to 500 years also. So we cannot count. Millions of years they may remain on the face of the earth. So that is very difficult. That's why on basing these, these are classified into two categories like biodegradable and non-biodegradable. In that, what are there in non-biodegradable according to our topics? Tin, aluminium and other metal cans. So metals are non-biodegradable, and as well as plastic bags also non-biodegradable. So on basing this lifetime, the material is decided whether it is biodegradable or not on basing its decomposition. Effects of excessive plastic on environment. What happens if there is excessive plastics? Plastic bags like polythene covers contains leftover food materials eaten by animals in urban areas, particularly cows, results in their death. Do you know that? Many cows died due to eating plastic bags. That means actually they try to eat the food materials in the polythene bags, but unfortunately they eat along with the plastic bags. And not only that, here I want to mention you, see, sometimes while we are throwing garbage in plastic covers, we should cut open the cover and we have to throw in dustbin. Of course, if you want to throw plastic open, if there are any eatables for animals, they will eat only the vegetable. For example, the tomatoes leftover which are spoiled, you may throw them out. But while throwing them out, if you are throwing in a plastic bag, so what the animals will do? They try to open the cover, but they can't, right? So with the bags only they will eat. Along with the bags, they eat up. So what happens? So along with these tomatoes, the plastic bag also will be in their stomach. So the plastic is, as we discussed, it doesn't decompose. So what happens in the stomach of cow? It doesn't decompose. So it will be a cause of death to the cows. Like that, many animals it causes. And not only the plastic, sometimes some blades or any sharp things, if you are leaving in that, along with the vegetables or along with the covers, when they eat these things also, so their what happens after going into their stomach? What happens? The blades or sharp things, they may cut the intestine of the animals. So that is also causing to death to the animal. So children, please remember, while you are throwing garbage or while your parents are throwing garbage, just intimate them to not to do these kind of things. Okay. So while throwing dust or garbage in a plastic bag, if there is any eatable things for the animals, just cut it open, or you just open and throw the dust into the garbage pit, then throw the cover separately. Did you understand, children? Did you understand my point? And while throwing, see, this is the river point or any water body. While you are throwing water, paper cups like plastics, after eating, see, we get many kinds of paper plates, all these things, no? So simply they throw nearby some water bodies or nearby some decomposed area or in dumping yard. Some may be not processed well. So such kind of things, they will remain in waters. So the water animals also, they can't exist their life in water because the plastics will occupy the space in the water and they don't allow the oxygen to go in. Actually, the water animals, they breathe in oxidized water. Generally, the water animals live in the water like fish, frogs, these. They breathe oxidized water, right? So in that, they can't get the oxygen from the water because the plastic things or plastic particles will occupy the face of the water. So how can the gas or how can the oxygen enters into the water, into the deeper parts? No, it doesn't. So in that cases also many water animals will die. So children, keep in mind, while you are throwing some garbage, kindly I request you to throw the garbage in the dustbin. Where we have to throw? In the dustbin. And as I told you before, if there are any eatables are there for animals like cows, because they are innocents, they don't know how to open all these things, right? So for their case, you have to just open and dump the garbage into the dustbin, throw separately the cover. Okay children, did you understand? I hope you will do that. You are good children, right? And educate your parents and elders also, who they don't know about these things. And plastic bags choke the drains, which results in the overflowing of wastewater and become good reproduction place for mosquitoes. Have you observed any time while you are throwing paper bags or plastic covers in the drains, in drainages, what happens? They object or they choke the flow of the water, so that what happens, the dust remains in the water itself or in the drainage itself. So what happens, there will be a good place for the reproduction of mosquitoes. So that is impact on us. Yes or no? So don't do like that. Okay Nana, while you are throwing carry bags, just throw them in dustbin, not in the drainages, not in the water bodies. You might have think that I can burn them. So the burning process of plastic releases a lot of poisonous fumes into air. It causes air pollution. So this burning process is also very slow and cannot be burned completely. So plastic takes several years of time to decompose, and it reduces the percolation of water into the soil and prevents replenishment of groundwater, as I told you before. So it doesn't allow water to work as a percolation of water. Okay, to prevent soil conservation also it doesn't allow. And this plastic remains on the face of the earth, and whatever water storages, or for example when it rains, the rainy water the ground cannot absorb due to the plastic layer on the earth surface. Plastic materials when thrown out destroy the natural beauty of a place, right, and provide homes for many. Effects of plastic on environment, it became a issue, so that Supreme Court of India also commented of this. Like Supreme Court of India, what it says, plastic bags are more danger than atom bomb for future generations. Plastic bags are more danger than atom bomb. Do you know atom bomb? A small atom, when it blasts open, it causes major destruction. Even plastic also, it is acting more destruction than the atom bomb. Okay, so excessive use of plastic bags and their unregulated disposal has been choking lakes, as we discussed in previous topic, and ponds and urban sewerage systems. The Supreme Court said while warning that it is posed a threat more serious than the atom bomb for the next generation. Did you understand? So while we are throwing this garbage or this, while we are disposing them, we have to dispose it properly, and we have to reduce the use of plastic bags. And Andhra Pradesh based NGOs drew the court's attention to 30 to 60 kg of plastic bags recovered from the stomachs of cows, as I told you before, because of irresponsible disposal of plastic bags and defunct municipal waste collection system. But the bench wanted to address the larger questions arising from the indiscriminate use of plastic bags, which not only posed a grave threat to the nature and environment but also to the human race itself. We may think that it doesn't harm us, just the cows are dying or some animals are getting problem. What happens to us? Don't think like that. Do you know, a survey reported, did you hear Nana this word tsunami? Tsunami, do you know? Yes, the tsunami happened. Some scientists, they said that due to the collection of or excessive collection of plastic bags in the seas and oceans, this tsunami is occurred. Why tsunami is occurred? Because of excessive collection of plastic bags in the water. Because even the water also unable to digest. What I told you, the plastic cannot be decomposed in the water, in the soil, or even in the fire also, right? So what is happening? Even the seas and oceans also polluting with these plastic bags and unable to control them and unable to decompose them in water itself, so that the water also losing its existence and the water bodies are attacking the nature. So it's a survey reported after occurring a tsunami. I have read in a newspaper. So after observing these causes, finally some petitioners sought the following directions from the court. What are they? prohibit or phase out in a time-bound manner open garbage disposal system and remove open garbage receptacles. That means what we have discussed previously, that things should be adopted by everyone, not by one people or not by one country like that. Everybody should be habituated with that. They have to throw garbage in a open way, not in closed system, and implement door-to-door garbage collection and prevent animals from moving around garbage storage facilities. As animals are coming to our houses or wherever the dust is available or garbage is available, there the animals are going and eating, so it may cause some destruction. To avoid that, what the garbage municipality they have to do, door to door garbage they have to collect. Of course nowadays it is happening. We are somewhat educated, but in some places it is not implemented. So that is also we have to take care and we have to aware them. We have to get the awareness in them. Next, municipalities must segregate all plastic waste from other waste, which are getting other waste, not only from plastic, in the form of other phase of plastic also they have to collect. Next, states must issue directions prohibiting the use, sale and disposal of plastic bags in all municipal areas. Of course it is already implementing, but some are following, some are not following. But if we follow these, certainly we can get so many changes in our surroundings and we will be very friendly to the environment and we can protect our environment for the future generations. Will you follow these precautions? Good. We have to protect that kind of animals also which are getting stomachache by eating this plastic. Next, what we have to take step? There are 4 R's. 4R principle: reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. What are they? Reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. Let's see now one by one. Say no to plastic or paper bags and use cloth bags. This is in our school also we have implemented. We said many times what we have to do to reduce the use of plastic. What is the first thing we have to do? What is first R? We should reduce the use of plastic whenever it is possible. If there is possibility, we can reduce. For example, you are going to bring vegetables from market. Immediately you will catch cover. Of course nowadays nobody is taking cover. Simply they are going to market and they are providing covers itself. But nowadays they are not providing, no. So we must carry a bag. So if you carry a bag along with you, they no need to give a paper bag or plastic bag to you, right? So carry a cloth bag. So that reduces one usage of paper bag or plastic bag. Yes or no? For example, instead of using plastic bags, we can use cloth or jute bags for shopping. Yes or no? So it shows our responsibility to the society. It shows our responsibility to the society as a citizen. Next one, reuse. What is the second R? Reuse. We should reuse some plastic containers whenever it is possible. For example, empty bottles and jars can be used for keeping other items in the home and kitchen. Yes or no? Nowadays many are doing this. By seeing YouTube's all these things, they are reusing many things. That's a good thing. Next one, recycle. Recycle means the same thing should be recycled. We should collect plastics which can be recycled. As I told you, some codes, no. So whatever having that codes, that can be collected and recycled. So most of the thermoplastics can be recycled. That items made of thermoplastic should be sent to the recycling industry. For example, toys, buckets, mugs, etc. They are made from thermoplastics, no. So these things can be recycled. We have to send them to the regeneration. For the regeneration purpose, we have to send them. There they will use the same thing to be produced new thing. Okay, what is the third R? Recycle. Next one, recover. What is the fourth R? Recover. What is recover? The principle of recovery plays a major role in the solid waste management. What is that? Solid waste management. So the recollected or recovered solid waste should be converted into resources such as electricity, heat, compost and fuel through thermal and biological means. For the purpose of thermal and biological means, we have to use. Even Supreme Court also judged about this solid waste management. So what are that 4 R's, Nana? Reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. Okay. See here some recycling codes. First one, PETE, polyethylene terephthalate. What is the first one? Polyethylene terephthalate. PET or PETE, both are same. Polyethylene terephthalate. Second one, HDPE means what I said, high density polyethylene. Third one, PVC. Actually here V only given. It is PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Okay. Next, LDPE, low density polyethylene. PP, polypropylene. PS, polystyrene. Other, seventh one, other. Remaining all other plastics are mentioned as recycling code 7. So in 1988, the American Society of Plastics Industry developed a standard marking code to help consumers to identify and sort the main types of plastics. For the society purpose, it is mentioned there are 60,000 types of plastics available in the world as on today, but only 6 types of plastics that we use regularly. How many types of plastics are there actually? 60,000 types are there, but how many types we are using at present? 6 types of plastics. Okay, these are resin codes. Okay, in triangle shape with a number in the middle, we can find this, and it is called Universal Recycling Code. What is that? Without number in the middle, that is Universal Recycling Code. To identify the plastic, look at the recycling icon. The chasing arrows, inside the arrows there will be a number that indicates the type of resin and also identify the polymer. Okay, these are the uses of polymer. In your manual it is given on a question. You can read that. If you want to read, take a screenshot and read this. It is individually given. All the things are mentioned here. As the topics we have discussed till now, all will come into this. Okay, Nana? So what are the 4 R principle? What are the 4 R's? First R. What is the first R? Reuse. Reuse? No, reduce. What is the first R? Reduce. Second R, recycle. Third R, reuse. And fourth R, recover. Okay. By using this 4 R principle, we have to reduce the consumption of plastics. So like this it happens in recycling process. So we can reduce the plastic usage by following this 4 R principle. So I am not explaining all the codes. By reading the tabular form you can understand well. Okay, Nana? We have some uncoded plastics also, like plastic tarpaulin, pipes, toys, keyboards. They don't have any codes. Okay, so these things multitude of other products, simply they do not fit into the coding system that identifies plastic used in consumer containers for recycling. There are actually thousands of different varieties of plastic resins or mixtures of resins. Okay, they are not completely in one code. Maybe in this mixing of 2 or 3 plastic codes, like 1 and 2 also will be mixed, so that cannot be identified. That's why they are not coded like that. And these are developed to suit the needs of particular products, but there is a limited recycling of some of these specific plastic products in truckload quantities from industrial sources. So recycling of various types of plastic is not commercially viable because their production when compared to coded plastics is less. And code 1 and code 2 plastics occupy a major share in recycled plastics. What are they? Code 1 and code 2. Okay, children. Once again listen to this video and previous video also, then you will understand well the lesson. And also read the textbook part well and try to answer the questions given in your textbook. Then only go for manual part. Okay, and also fill the bit part in the manual given according to textbook. Read and fill. Okay, then only you can understand well. If you have any doubts you can ask me. Thank you, Nana. Thanks for